Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a giant in the ring and in real life? Giant André not only knew the answer, he lived it to the fullest. Today, you'll find out how his incredible size challenged not only his opponents, but also his own fate. It's hard to believe, but his story has room for both sorrow and genuine joy, because it doesn't end exactly the way everyone thinks. And yes, he has a daughter, and her world is shrouded in mystery as well. But there is one thing we will uncover once and for all. Did she inherit the giant genes, or is her side of the story completely different? Get ready to be amazed, because these stories will give you goosebumps. André René Roussimoff, known to the world as André the Giant, was born on May 19, 1946, in the small French town of Coulommiers. His roots traced back to Bulgaria and Poland. His parents came from these very countries. André was the third of 6 siblings. He had 2 brothers, Antoine and Jacques, and 2 sisters, Hélène and Morissette. He spent his childhood on the family farm and at first was not noticeably different from other children. However, everything changed when he was 12 years old, as his growth began to accelerate rapidly. Soon, he was so big that he could no longer fit comfortably on the seats of the school bus. However, his height was not a problem for his parents. On the contrary, thanks to his strength, he was able to help more with work on the farm. André had his own dreams. For example, he wanted to learn to play the guitar, but even those dreams were thwarted by his body proportions. His fingers were so large and strong that playing was simply not possible for him. Even the French army did not accept him. The medical board deemed him too big for service. Quite simply, there was no uniform in a suitable size for him. At 17 years old, he was 190 centimeters tall and weighed 130 kilograms. It was at this age that he decided to pursue a career as a professional wrestler, a sport that was gaining more and more popularity at the time. Moving to Paris became a turning point in the life of André René Roussimoff. He started working there as a loader, but he never gave up on his dream of becoming a famous wrestler. In his free time, he trained and built his career. Under the wrestling name Jean Ferrat, he soon began participating in matches organized by promoter Frank Valois. His journey took him to various corners of the world. He wrestled in France, Great Britain, Australia, and Africa. Thanks to his exceptional physical proportions, he was able to defeat one opponent after another and earned the nickname Monster of Roussimoff. His exceptional talent was noticed by the French-Canadian wrestler Édouard Carpentier, who convinced André's parents to let him move to Canada. He promised him that great opportunities awaited him there. At the turn of the 1960s and 1970s, André also traveled to Japan, where he gained popularity as Monster André. It was there that doctors, during a medical examination, diagnosed him with acromegaly, a disease caused by excessive production of growth hormone, which leads to extreme growth and enlargement of the body. This diagnosis was serious. Doctors warned that without surgery, he would likely not live to see 40. A similar condition afflicted other famous wrestlers and actors such as Igor Wolkowinski, Big Show, and Giant Gonzalez, 2 of whom died before the age of 50. However, André knew that the surgery could take away what made him unique: his appearance, his image, and his career. So he decided to go his own way, accept his fate, and live life to the fullest for as long as he could. In Canada, André René Roussimoff was given the nickname André the Giant, which stayed with him for the rest of his life. He advanced successfully in his career, winning one victory after another. In 1974, his name was entered into the Guinness Book of Records as the highest-paid wrestler of that time. However, behind the scenes, he was often called the biggest drunk on earth. This nickname did not come about by accident. Hardly anyone could compete with André when it came to the amount of alcohol he could drink. It is said that he once managed to drink up to 42 liters of beer in 6 hours. In one documentary, 2 of André's acquaintances said that they personally witnessed him drink more than 73 liters of beer in a single evening. One of the most famous episodes associated with his drinking career was the night when André drank 127 cans of beer in a hotel lobby and fell asleep right at the table. When the hotel staff tried to move the giant, they realized it was impossible and decided to let him sleep where he was. André woke up in the morning and carried on as if nothing unusual had happened. A documentary released in 2018 revealed details about the life of André the Giant and explained why he led such an unusual lifestyle. The main reason was a constant feeling of pain, especially in his back and knees. His joints couldn't cope with his enormous weight and height, so every minute of his life was a challenge. Medicine could offer a partial solution to the problem, an operation on the pituitary gland, which would stop further growth and give the body a chance to adapt. However, André firmly rejected this idea. All his success and fame were based on his enormous size, and the thought of surgically reducing his body seemed unacceptable to him. But physical pain was not the only challenge. The world around him was not made for a man of his stature. Ordinary cars, elevators, and even doors turned out to be too small for him. So André built a house where every detail, from the doors to the furniture, was made specifically for his gigantic frame. Clothing and shoes were also custom-made, taking into account the enormous strain on the feet of such a large man. Even traveling became a real challenge. When flying, André had to occupy 2 seats at once, and using the airplane restroom was almost impossible for him. The crew had to cover him with a cloth and give him a bucket so he could take care of his physiological needs without leaving his seat. These constant inconveniences had a significant impact on André's mental state. On one hand, his career was built on his unique size, but on the other, the daily reminders that he didn't fit into the ordinary world undermined his self-confidence. André's friends believed that it was precisely this duality that led him to alcohol as an escape from reality. At the height of his fame, André the Giant was the highest-paid wrestler in the world. He moved among stars of both sports and film, and his close friends included such icons as Muhammad Ali, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Peter Maivia, the grandfather of today's Hollywood star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. However, his life ended unexpectedly on January 28, 1993. He died in his hotel room, where he had come to attend his father's funeral. He was only 46 years old. The cause of death was heart failure. His body could no longer handle the extreme physical strain caused by his weight of 260 kilograms and his height of 225 centimeters. By that time, his professional career was already behind him. He fought his last match in the ring in 1992, and from then on, he withdrew from public life. The family wished for André to be buried next to his father, but he himself wanted something different. In his will, he stated that he wanted to be cremated and have his ashes scattered on his ranch in Elo Bay, North Carolina, a place that was dear to his heart. It was there that he spent his time in peace, far from the spotlight, surrounded by animals and in the company of his beloved dog. It was the end of the life of a giant who became a legend not only because of his size, but also for the heart that inspired millions of people around the world. After the death of the giant André, all of his property went to his daughter Robin. Even though he left her as his sole heir, their relationship was complicated and full of unanswered questions. During his life, André had almost no contact with her and never officially acknowledged her as his daughter, mainly because he was never married to her mother. The personal life of André the Giant remains shrouded in mystery even today. Although he never married, he had a relationship with Jean Christensen, a former model who later worked as a journalist. It was from this relationship that Robin Christensen Rusimov was born. However, their life together did not last long. It is unclear whether they ever got married. There are some mentions of a wedding ceremony, but no legal documents confirm this marriage. It is highly likely that they separated even before their daughter was born, and her arrival was a shock to both of them. In an interview in the 1990s, Jean stated that she believed André was infertile. At first, André denied paternity, and a blood test had to be conducted, which confirmed that he was the father. Then Jean began paying alimony, initially at $750 a month. Later, he increased the amount to as much as $1,000. Robin Christensen Rusimov was born in 1979. Even though her famous father, André the Giant, later officially acknowledged her, he gave her very little attention or support during her childhood. According to her mother, Jean Christensen, Robin met her father only 4 times during the first 12 years of her life. The first time was when she was a baby, the second when she was about a year and a half old, the third when she was 4, and the last time in November 1991, when their meeting lasted only 5 minutes. As Robin grew up, she began to realize that her father remained more of a legend to her than an actual parent. In one interview, she expressed it with the words, "He is like my father, but at the same time he isn't." You know what I mean? Even though she had mixed feelings about him, she later tried to learn more about her father. She spoke with his former wrestling colleagues. However, as she admitted in an interview for CBS Sports in 2015, if you're not part of the business, it's almost impossible to get honesty from those people. Robin also believes that if André had lived longer, their relationship might have had a chance to develop. Nevertheless, he did not forget her in his will. He left her a share of the profits from the sale of licensed merchandise, which still brings her considerable income today. Robin shares some prominent features with her father: pronounced cheekbones, a broad chin, and small eyes. Her physique also shows signs of gigantism. She is 180 centimeters tall and weighs over 100 kilograms. Today, she is known as the daughter of André the Giant, although she is only marginally involved in wrestling. She works for WWE, and according to available information, earns about $500,000 a year. Unlike her father, however, she does not seek publicity, avoids the media, leads a very private life, and has never married. In 2024, Robin celebrated her 45th birthday. She continues to enjoy life in her own way, travels, values her freedom, and does not let herself be constrained by social norms. Robin Christensen Roussimoff is actively involved in preserving the legacy of his father, the legendary André the Giant. He collaborates on projects associated with his name and image, whether it's video games, merchandising, or collaboration with the WWE organization, with which he maintains close relations. In 2017, Robin appeared at a SmackDown event where she met Natalya Neidhart, the daughter of one of André's former rivals, Jim Neidhart. In an interview with Sports Illustrated in 2020, Robin spoke at length about her father's most famous film role, the character Fezzik, in the movie The Princess Bride. She admitted that she only found out about his participation in the film when she saw it at the cinema. "When my mom took me to the movie, I remember exactly the moment when they were about to kidnap Princess Buttercup. Suddenly I shouted, 'That's my dad!'" Robin added that her father was extremely proud of this role because he put his heart and a part of his personality into it. According to her, he was just as kind and gentle in real life as the character he portrayed. She also mentioned working with actors Mandy Patinkin and Cary Elwes, who later invited her to a screening of the film in Brooklyn. In 2018, during the release of the documentary André the Giant, Robin gave a number of interviews. She expressed hope that thanks to the film, fans would better understand who her father really was, not just as a wrestling legend, but as a person. Despite her complicated relationship with her father, Robin Christensen Roussimoff has become a worthy successor to his legacy. And who knows, maybe today André is looking down from heaven at his daughter with pride.